People often ask me how it is that I can get so much done in a week. And I must admit, I pause because what most people don't know is that I currently have about 8 hours of usable work capacity in a week, not a day, a week. So if you're watching this and thinking that I'm some kind of productivity wizard, I'm really not. I just stopped designing my work around my fantasy capacity. And today I want to explain exactly what I mean by that, especially if you're a clinician, a business owner, high performer whose energy is not what it used to be. So for the past 4 years, I've been living with a fairly serious neurological condition. It's unpredictable. It's not linear, and it does not care about my goals. Some weeks are better. Some weeks are not. What it forced me to confront was that I was designing my life, my work life, my contribution life around who I used to be, not who I am now. And I constantly see this with clinicians and health professionals turning up as burnout, chronic illness, perimenopause, caregiving, cognitive fatigue, emotional overload. The thing is, our capacity shifts, but often our expectations don't shift with it. And that is a big problem. So how do I get so much done? Well, the truth is I just don't do much. I choose to do what matters. When your capacity shrinks, you cannot afford energetic leakage. And here's what I mean by that practically. I don't chase trends. I don't try and be everywhere. I try my bestest to finish a project before I start a new one. I don't fill my calendar because it looks productive. I focus on what's going to give me the best return on investment here, which isn't always about money. I focus on relationships and building relationships and on reputation building activity. That's it. Everything else is optional. Most high performers struggle because they are trying to maintain historical output, but sustainability actually requires a redesign. The second thing is my calendar is my external brain. I work best in 45-minute blocks, and then I have a 15-minute rest. Now, that rest may not look like the absence of all activity. It's just I move away from whatever usually cognitively demanding task I was doing and not do a cognitively demanding activity. If I override this 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off part of me, then my body doesn't respond well. It likes to shut down. But here's a part that might sting a little bit for you. We are exceptional at clinical governance for clients. This looks like risk assessment, scope boundaries, escalation pathways. When it comes to ourselves, we override fatigue. We overbook. We say yes because we don't want to disappoint. And if a client ignored deterioration like that, we'd actually intervene. So why don't we? So my calendar is not about control. It's about my capacity governance. It's a structure that protects me from myself. The next thing that I do is I use my WOWS framework, meaning wealth, others, work, and self. And this framework is my filter. Because when capacity shrinks, imbalance shows up quickly. Wealth gets neglected. Work expands reactively. Others consumes my emotional energy, and myself, I just disappear. So every week I ask, if I have 8 hours, where do they go? Not where do I want them to go? Where do they need to go? And this question has preserved my work capacity thus far. Now, the next thing, and this might be the most important thing, is I stopped performing with the belief that I had unlimited capacity. In healthcare, exhaustion is often worn like a badge of honor, and we equate pushing through with professionalism, but our physiology is always going to win out. So when you design around a fantasy capacity, you're actually borrowing from your future. But when you design around real capacity, you'll build longevity. Those are two very different looking careers. So if you're watching this and your capacity has shifted for any reason, here's what I want you to consider. What are you still doing because it's how you've always done it? But what actually moves the needle in your business, your role, your career? And where are you overriding your early warning signs? If your capacity reduced by 30%, what would you cut out? That's not failure, that's design. So when people ask me, Joe, how is it you get so much done? The real answer is I just don't. I design well. And if your capacity isn't what it used to be, you don't need more productivity hacks. You need better governance around yourself. If this resonates, I've written more about it in a blog, and I run quarterly planning reviews where we recalibrate your plans in line with your real capacity, not your historical one, because sustainable clinicians build sustainable systems, and your worth has never been measured in hours worked. Go be your awesome self.